Hey YouTube, it's ForeverRed24 here, coming at you with a deck profile for the Dragon Ball Z card game. I know it's been quite a while since I've uploaded a video. I want to sincerely apologize to you guys for that, but I have been working very hard on some deck lists for you guys, and spur of the moment I've decided to give you guys this. It's a deck I've been working on for a very long time. So today we're going to be going over my... I'm so sorry about that. Give me just a second. Okay. Zoom in just a little bit. A little bit more. Okay. So today we're going to be going over my red golden Frieza deck profile. This is the deck I am planning on taking to the Colorado Regionals here in Pueblo. This deck has been initially designed to counter Ginyu, being as it was dominating the meta for all of the regionals except for the most recent Kansas regionals, which I feel like its matchup against a good Krillin deck should still be pretty strong. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So it's going to be red Frieza. The reason I chose red Frieza is because it's consistent crits, handle Ginyu very, very well. And the simple fact is, I don't really have to worry about Namekian too much. They will never have a Dragon Ball to speak of, for the most part. And yeah, I'll explain some of my card choices as I go. But just a quick review on Frieza. I'm sure all of you know him, but just in case you're new to the game and just happen to be watching this video, here he is. We're going to start with his level 1. Level 1 Frieza. He's pretty good. He has a PUR of 2, and whenever you stop an attack, you gain an anger. It's pretty awesome. And he does stay in C the entire time he's in level 1, which isn't bad. That's actually really good for a level 1. Level 2 is your golden boy. He's really where you want to stay, but with red, you're going to gain anger so quickly, you may not be on him for very long. And what he does is a physical attack that does AT life cards, which is pretty awesome. Gains 3 stages, and then I can rejuvenate from my discard or banish zone a Frieza name card. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. A Frieza name card. I only run 3 named cards in this deck, just because it's not really based around getting crits off of him. I have plenty of other ways to get crits without Golden Frieza, and there's a good reason why I did that, is because that effect really only matters when you're on level 2 or level 4, and you know that's either going to be really, really early game, really, really late game. Great part about Frieza is that his level 9 and 10 power level keep you in F, then it drops down to E, then to D, and he stays there for a little while, and it just kind of progressively goes down, but you could pretty easily keep him at high stages. Level 3 is okay. It's not bad. He tops out in E. He buffs all your attacks by +3 stages, and you get to use your level 1 flowers. So whenever you do block an attack, you still gain your anger, which is nice. Level 4 Frieza is your other golden boy. Power is to destroy the top 4 cards of your opponent's life deck and search for a Frieza name card. And then you can use your level 2 powers. So, combo with it is that I do. I'll talk about that a little bit more later. But the main point of this deck is you're going to MPPV, or if you get to level 4 early enough, you could potentially survive a victory. So let's get on to the deck. I'm going to start with the events. Staple, 1 times Warrior's Tool. It's a must-have in every deck. 1 res observation. Orange Goku is starting to pick up a little bit of popularity in the meta. On top of that, you still have Ginyu. So, a combo I like to do with this is right before I level. It's an obvious combo, but it's a really good combo. Just right before you level, drop yourself down to 0, gain your anger, level up, and go back up to max. 3 copies of Stare Down. Everybody knows what it does. having a peek at your opponent's hand and knowing what to play against, on top of, you know, dropping them a card is really, really good, especially in this meta. I mean, of course, certain matchups really aren't going to care, like Ginyu. They don't care what's in their hand, except for maybe blocks. So it still helps you work around their plan. Three red restriction. Excellent card for the blue Piccolo matchup. Yeah, I mean, they can't use Piccolo's power because it's not an attack, which is excellent. You also get to draw 2 and discard 1, which is really, really good. I built this deck to be kind of an accelerated build with a lot of draw power, and I'll get to that. 2 red relaxation. I like this card. It's a free draw, free crit in a couple stages. I honestly do not like a lot of setups in this deck. I like to be pure aggro. So I only got 4 more, which is 2 Tree of Might. I don't run any drills. There's no downside to it. I did not opt to run Lookout Drill. I just decided not. I decided against it, but Tree of Might's really good because red does not have the strongest physical attacks, not like blue or anything like that does. So this really does help, especially if you get off level 2. And then 2 Visiting the Past staple. I was really close to taking this card out. I really feel like Visiting the Past is not a needed card in this meta, just for the simple fact is that, you know, the instant you drop a Time is Warrior's Tool or anything worth getting out of Visiting the Past, they're devastating blowing it or pulverizing it, you know, doing something to get rid of it out of your discard. So I really don't feel like it's worth it. I might cut this card in the future. I don't know yet, though. I got to do some more competitive testing. 3 blue energy I'm sorry, 3 red energy blast. I really like this card too. This is the only energy attack in the entire deck. I don't run any Frieza'S Supernova, and like I said earlier, well, I guess I didn't say this, but you really don't want to be lowering your stages too much. And I felt like this card really really kind of sets itself apart because you can get rid of problem drills like positioning. You can get rid of, you know, problem allies like Kami, you know, things like that. Yeah, they get the 1 Dragon Ball, but you're going to steal it from them anyway, and then they're not going to have a Kami to bring back. So it's a really good card. You gain anger off of it. Doesn't do bad damage. It's just a tech, basically. Onto the energy blocks. I do run 9 energy blocks because we are an energy heavy format. I might change this one though. I run 3 red hop. Next attack you do gains hit, use critical damage effects, so it potentially gives you anger on your next swing, which is not bad at all. It's not bad at all. Three red sacrifice. Obvious reasons, discard effect, gain 2 anger, make your next attack unpreventable. Really, really good. And this might seem a little weird, but I do run 3 red escape. Now, hear me out, guys. I built this deck so that it's going to be accelerating. So basically, this deck takes full advantage of the Mastery's capabilities. Basically, you advance, like say I play this on level 1, I advance to level 2, hit like a truck for that turn, I drew a card, discard a card. Say I level up to level 3, then at the end of turn I level back down to 2, and I draw a card. So I can easily and worry-free run out my hand and sit on level 2 during their combat, during their turn, which is absolutely wonderful. I chose this path for a reason. I like the draw power. I like the idea of being able to jump from 1 to 3 in one turn. It's really nice. Onto the physical attacks. 2 wall breaker. In certain matchups, this card is really relevant. Against others, it's not at all. What I mean by that is, like I said, Orange Goku's starting to gain some relevance in this meta, and from what I've seen online, most of them will run some Kaiokens. You'll still see those Turles decks running around and stuff like that. This shuts down Tree of Might. This shuts down Kaioken, Captain Ginyu's Body Switch. It shuts all those instant levels besides like Devouring Drill and Blue Dominance down. I really like it for that fact. It also annihilates Namekian. They have very little out to it, especially if they're slug. You know, relying on 2 Sagacious Strike in an entire deck to get rid of this one card can definitely win you games. Definitely win you games. As I mentioned earlier, 3 Frieza'S Captive Strike. I like it for the discard fodder. You drop it to the grave, gain an anger off your mastery. It's nice. There's no reason not to run it. You're pretty much never going to play it unless they're an A and you're level 2, because that's 6 damage. That's 6 free damage. So I mean, there is an opportunity to play it. For the most part, you're just going to be discarding it for face break and stuff. 3 Pulverize. I really like this card. It's a utility card in my opinion. Get rid of problem cards in the discard. Once again, why I feel like Visiting the Past is not essential in this meta right now, just because we have cards like this. You know, it does decent damage, AT plus 3. So on level 2, I mean, you're pretty much doing at least 7 damage unless they're lower than that, which is awesome. Plus Tree of Might, so you're gonna hit like a truck no matter what. But this card can deal decent damage, banish problem cards, and you get a card at the end of turn, so you can go in for your shoulder grabs or whatever you feel you need. 3 Devastating Blow. A little bit of anger control. Give yourself anger. It's not the best type. It's not the best attack. With Tree of Might, it's AT plus 3, which is okay. Also gets rid of some problem cards in the discard. Like with a lot of blue decks, if you can't hit your Red Energy Blast early to banish their Positioning Drill, you can start getting rid of their blocks manually, which is always nice. Onto the styled attacks, we have 3 Red Double Strike, obvious reasons. Combination with Shoulder Grab, that's 2 anger per hit. Guaranteed at least 2 anger off this card, no matter what. Really, really good card. Yeah, it's only AT damage, which is another reason why I chose to run the Tree of Might, is to give this a little bit of a buff, so that it's not doing so little. 3 Red Face Break. Excellent card. I love everything, absolutely everything about this card. Physical attack, AT plus 4 stages. Excellent. Absolutely absurd damage off of that. And with Tree of Might, it gets worse. Raise your anger 1 level. Amazing. And then you may discard a card from your hand to draw a card. Excuse me. So this combos really well with Sacrifice, with Captive Strike. Combos really well with Road Restraint, which is another block I run. It's just a really good card. Really, really good card. Really, really powerful. I mean, it doesn't really matter if it hits because you're plussing off of it anyway. Get rid of dead cards for good cards. Alright. My own personal attack, 3 Red Heel Kick. I personally like it. I don't use its effect very often unless there's you know, something that's gonna win me the game or level me up in my discard pile, like a knee lift or a shoulder grab, or if I really need to get a wall breaker off me, I could always go in for a mule kick. But things like that. It's a really good utility card, gives you anger, not bad damage, AT plus 2, so it's a really good card. Staple and physical beats red. 3 red shoulder grab. Everybody knows what this card does. It has been eroded to all of your successful attacks. They have to hit in order for everything to do a crit, but it's AT plus 3, which is amazing damage with Frieza, gain in anger, and then for the remainder of combat, everything that hits automatically deals crit. And really quick also, while I'm going over this, I don't know if any of you guys know this, but there is a specific ruling with critical damage effects. Just to clarify, no matter what, you get a critical damage effect. Whether they have anger or not, have allies or not, or have Dragon Balls or not, you get the effect, so you do gain anger off the mastery. Absolutely no matter what. So it's really dominant as far as that's concerned. 3 red knee lift is the next one. Really good card. Another reason why I added Triamite. I actually just recently added this card. But it's AT stages, use a critical damage effect is right off the bat. So that's a free anger. Hit, you may lower your anger 1. If you do, use another critical damage effect. So, honestly, this is a card I really don't care if it hits unless I'm in a Ginyu matchup. Because then if it hits, I can be like, okay, I'll not touch my anger because I'll gain it back anyway to destroy another ally. So this deck can consistently and constantly keep their allies off the board. And it should be able to do that throughout the whole game. I only run 2 red mule kick. I understand Wall Breaker is a threat to this deck, a huge threat to this deck. But personally speaking, I wanted to go the more aggro route. And I felt like, you know, it's not worth running Sagacious Strike and 3 of these when I can have more high damaging cards or cards that will give me more anger. So I went with 2 just in case. I shouldn't have a problem with Wall Breaker, especially because I run Pulverize to pull out my shoulder grabs and stuff. Should not have a problem with it, but these are utility. Also really good against the Saiyan matchup and other decks that use Tree. Onto the blocks. 3 resourceful block. Exact same reason as I run Red Escape. There have been games that I've tested in where I was level 2 and lowered myself down to 1, re-leveled up to 2, and then at the end of combat leveled up to 3, and the following combat just went up to 4 and MPPV'd. I really feel like, you know, through the hand advantage you gain off the mastery by using these blocks, it makes it really worth it. That's the way I feel. I feel like it accelerates the deck instead of slows it down, as long as you can pull off the level up. There have been games where... let me pull this back out here. Let me also clarify something. It is a mandatory effect. If you are above level 1, it's a mandatory effect. You use this block, you have to go down 1. Which with Frieza, it's not going to be a bad thing, because, okay, let's say I go from 2 to 1 and I can't quite get off 1. That's okay, because, you know, if I'm in their combat the next turn, all I have to do is do a relaxation or something. I instantly go to level 2 right before combat starts. So I have my outs to it, and I know how to play this deck very well. I just need to start testing it against competitive decks. Lastly is 3 red restraint. Obvious card, another discard effect. Really, really good. You get an anger, gain 3 stages, and your next attack gets buffed by 2 life cards. Really good. I would run more physical blocks. I have noticed this deck has a little bit of a hard time against, you know, your rogue physical beat decks. It does have a little bit of a hard time against them sometimes, just because red is extremely lacking in endurance. However, it still hits like a total truck, and there's nothing that can slow this deck down hard enough, unless you don't see what you need, which I've built mainly Wall Breaker, which has been the bane of Red's existence since its inception into the game. Really quick, I'm going to talk about a couple combos that I like to do. I will also be posting a blue golden Frieza list that I've been working very hard on as well. So be sure to check that out, guys. Sorry for the little side note there. So something that I really like to do, like I said, on level 1 or whatever, drop yourself down to 0 with observation, board wipe, and then level back up and just start wrecking face. It's pretty awesome. Let me see here, combos. One of my favorite combos is this right here. Basically, say you're on level 2 and going up against physical beats, and they enter combat on you. They swing physical at you, you block, you go down to 1. Okay, so you retaliate. Let me put, say I also have restraint. Let's say, say on a 1-card hand, I'm visiting the past for red restraint. Basically, this is my hand after using the resourceful block. Shoulder grab, restraint, face break, and double strike. So basically, you retaliate. You go with red shoulder grab, which gives you 1 anger right off the bat. Okay. So for the rest of the turn, everything is doing critical damage. Okay. So assuming they either pass or we let the next attack go through, we then retaliate with red face break, gives us another anger. Discarding red restraint, which gives us another anger. Draw a card, whatever that card may be, and we can still deal some pretty massive damage with this. And then we have double strike. So let's say we land 1 double strike, so we get, we actually would gain another anger for hitting with face break. We get 1 for playing double strike, which levels us back up to 2. And then we swing with it again. Say it hits, gives us another 2 anger, and combat ends. So we begin the next turn as level 3 Frieza, maxed out power with 2 anger. So we're basically halfway through to level 4. We literally block like 2 attacks, or 3 attacks, and we're there. While the deck does not consistently get its blocks, which is a problem I am having, and as you all know, red does not have a lot of endurance to take a lot of hits, so the problem I have is when I'm taking a lot of damage. However, in those opportune moments when I can attack, or I have a handful of attacks on level 3 and can crit them even harder, it just makes it even easier. You easily get to level 4. Once you get to 4, it's smooth sailing because you just go destroy top 4, search captive strike, face break, discard captive strike, gain an anger, Frieza, crit, gain an anger, double strike. You know, it's just, it goes off from there. It's a really good deck, guys. I really want you guys to check it out. Please leave your opinion down below. What kind of changes should I make? What is your opinion on visiting the past? Should I cut it for Sagacious Strike? Should I cut it for, you know, some other cards? What is your opinion on the level blocks? That's what I call them. on the blocks that affect your level. I really feel like in red, it helps accelerate you. Some people may say, well, you know, that can be really bad. I really feel like it's hit and miss in that case. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think of this deck profile. I really, really appreciate your opinion. Thank you so much for watching. This is Forever Red 24 signing out.